Hello, this is Rohit and we will be solving the problem in our space today. Its difficulty level is cakewalk and it requires observation. It appeared in July Cook-off. Chef's computer has n GB of free space. He wants to save X files, each of size 1 GB, and Y files, each of size 2 GB on his computer. And we have to determine whether he will be able to do so or not. So Chef can save all the files on his computer only if the total size of the files is less than or equal to the space available on his computer. For the input, the first line will contain a single integer t, which is the number of test cases, and then for each test case we will have three integers n, x and y. N is the free space in the computer, and x is the number of files with size 1 GB, and y is the number of files with size 2 GB. For output, we have to print yes if Chef is able to save the files on the system and no otherwise. Let's have a look at the sample test cases. For the first test case, the free space available to us, which is n, is equal to 6, and then we have x number of files occupying 1 GB each, so x is 3, and then we have y number of files occupying 2 GB, so y is 1 in this case. So now let's calculate the total space required for us. So there are x files which take 1 GB of space, so therefore x multiplied by 1, plus there are y number of files occupying 2 GB each, so we multiply by 2. So this is the total space required for us, and we have to check whether this is less than or equal to n. So that means to install the files in a computer, the total space available to us should always be greater than or equal to the space required by us. So if this condition is true, we print yes, otherwise we print no. So in this case we just substitute our values, so it would be 3 into 1 plus 1 into 2, which is 3 plus 2, which is 5, and we have to check whether 5 is less than or equal to n, which is 6, or not. So as this is true, we print yes. So moving to the second test case, we have n equal to 2, x equal to 2 and y equal to 2. So the total space required by us would be x multiplied by 1 plus y multiplied by 2, which is 2 into 1 plus 2 into 2, which is 6, and we have to check whether it is less than or equal to the total space available to us. We have to check if it is less than or equal to n, and n is 2 in this case. So as this is false, the answer is no. Now for the third test case, we have n equal to 4, x equal to 3 and y equal to 2, and for the answer to be yes, this equation should hold true. So on substituting the values, we have 3 into 1 is 2 into 2 less than or equal to 4. So it is 3 plus 4, 7 less than or equal to 4. So as this is false, our answer is no. And for the fourth and the final test case, we have n equal to 5, x equal to 1 and y equal to 2. Total free space would be x into 1 plus y into 2, and this should be less than or equal to n for our answer to be yes. So on substituting, we have 1 plus 2 into 2, which is 4, and this should be less than or equal to n, which is 5. 5 less than or equal to 5, and this condition is true. That means the answer is yes. So let's summarize our algorithm by writing the pseudocode. So we first take our input, we take n, x and y, and then we simply check the condition where the total free space is greater than or equal to the total space required by us is true or not. So this would be x multiplied by 1 plus y multiplied by 2 should be less than or equal to n, and if it is true, then we print yes, else we print no. If you are still unable to understand the problem or not able to get the correct answer to your code, then don't worry, you can ask your doubt to our doubt solvers. So what you have to do is, you have to go to the practice problem section and then search for the problem which you are having difficulty in. Let's say the problem code of that problem is DNA storage. So you search for the problem, go to the problem, and then under the Ask a Doubt tab, you can go and ask your doubts, and your doubts would be cleared instantly. Let's have a look at the implementation. We take an input t, which is the number of test cases, and then we run a loop of length t. For each test case, we take our input of 3 integers n, x and y, and then we check whether the free space available to us is greater than or equal to the total space required by us or not. So if the condition is true, then we print yes, otherwise we print no. The time complexity in this case would be constant because we are just performing constant time operations, that is addition and comparison.